This is San Diego News Daily.
I'm Monica Dean. Let's get right into your top local stories. More tough decisions are ahead for the San Diego City Council as they begin discussing the budget for next fiscal year. The mid-year budget update shows the city is facing an even bigger deficit than expected for next year, to the tune of $120 million. As NBC7's Audra Stafford explains, efforts to make up some of that money have not gone as planned.
In January, the city turned on dozens of pay stations just like this one throughout Balboa Park in the hopes that they would generate some much needed revenue. As we've all seen, it hasn't exactly gone as planned.
Here we go, right?
The paid parking program was initially projected to make about $12.5 million in revenue, but the rollout was delayed, and after a lot of pushback, the prices and hours of enforcement are being reduced. So now that number is closer to $2.5 million. Tourism is also down, and fewer people visiting San Diego means revenue from the transient occupancy tax charged to guests in our hotels and motels is also down. But there are some bright spots in the mid-year budget report.
Good afternoon, Council President LaCava and honorable council members.
During yesterday's presentation to the City Council, San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall noted that for the first time in years, his department will come close to meeting its overtime budget. He told NBC7 they were able to do this by creating a dedicated team to prioritize staffing coverage and using data to decide how overtime is assigned throughout the city.
But I think it's important that when it comes to our financial position here in the city, that this department is putting police officers when and where they're needed most. We cut almost $7 million in overtime expenditures without impacting response times, which means we are hitting the target of being efficient and effective with what we have.
The mayor's office said additional steps have been taken to bring down the projected shortfall for the city's general fund from $16.8 million to $1.8 million. Those steps include a request to fill process for hiring to strategically manage and evaluate the filling of vacant positions, suspension of discretionary expenditures, limits on non-essential overtime, and a thorough review of external contracts for potential savings and efficiencies. If you would like to participate in the budget process, there will be a number of public hearings. Next up, the City Council will have another budget meeting on March 10th. Then the mayor will present his proposed budget for the next fiscal year in April. From Balboa Park, I'm Audra Stafford, NBC7.
San Diego City Council leaders will possibly approve a $6 million settlement over the historic flooding in parts of San Diego in July of 2024. But the money won't be going to any of the flood victims. According to a staff report, 17 insurance carriers filed 4 separate lawsuits. The settlement totals more than $6.3 million and is expected to be finalized by the city today. This is separate from the hundreds of lawsuits that neighbors have filed against the city of San Diego. Today, San Diego City leaders are discussing whether to push forward a long-debated project to build a multi-use bridge over the San Diego River in Mission Valley. The council is set to discuss dedicating city-owned land to build the Fenton Parkway Bridge project. It would extend Fenton Parkway over the river to Camino del Rio North. The 450-foot bridge has been part of a long-term plan to develop that area after San Diego State purchased the land of the former stadium site. The bridge project was also aimed at easing traffic for the newest version of the Mission Valley Community Plan, which could expand an area by 50,000 more residents. Our chief meteorologist, Sheena Parveen, has a look at your weather forecast. Hi, Sheena.
Hi there. As we head through the afternoon, it's going to be unseasonably warm again, about 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Mid-70s at the coast, around 80 inland. You will see clouds moving through, but we stay dry. Mountains will be near 70, breezy west wind. Deserts will be in the 80s. And then for the inland valleys, tomorrow will still be around 80 degrees. Thursday, 83. Friday, inland, we could get close to 90. That would be some near record highs. And then for the weekend, we'll start to cool down, but it's still going to be unseasonably warm. Your 10 days coming up.
It is warm. Thank you. Terrified American tourists stranded in Mexico amid ramped up cartel violence. The mixed messages they're receiving about the dangerous situation. And a young Bobcat kitten back home in the wild after months of intense recovery at the San Diego Humane Society. Oh, look at that kitty. We'll have that story for you coming up next. Stay with us.
We are rolling. Your left, I'm sorry.
Let's do this.
Where do you get your information from?
Well, definitely start with the local news.
The reason why I love listening to local news like NBC, they give the facts.
California families could feel
They have a genuine interest, first as people and second as a news team.
Because this is their community too.
Sometimes the news isn't always fun. Bringing it to us every day in good and bad times is something that we rely on.
Nice to have you with us.
This is San Diego News Daily.
I'm Monica Dean. Welcome back. Loved ones are remembering the 62-year-old man killed in a hit and run as the search for the driver continues. This happened Saturday night on North Pacific Street in San Marcos. The man killed has been identified as Kerry Faust. The sheriff's department says Faust was getting something out of his trunk in front of Prime Storage, where he kept equipment for his landscaping business, and Faust was hit from behind. The force so strong, both of his legs were severed. The driver ditched the car and ran toward Mission Avenue. With no arrest, Faust's sister is left with questions.
Why they haven't found him so fast, for one, because they have the vehicle and they must have evidence in that vehicle. He can't live free because my brother can't.
Investigators have only a vague description of the suspect and are asking for the public's help to identify the driver. Americans in Mexico are getting mixed messages amid ramped up violence after the killing of one of the biggest cartel leaders in the world. The State Department is telling Americans to stay in their resorts and homes, but Mexico's president says the nation is under control and canceled flights are expected to be fully restored today. We're also learning more about the military operation that killed El Mencho, who ran the Jalisco new generation cartel. Mexican officials say they learned El Mencho's location by tracking one of his mistresses. The U.S. also provided intelligence for the operation. At least 25 Mexican soldiers were killed in gun battles with the cartel across 7 states. It was in that aftermath that we saw the chaos on the streets. One man said his rental car was taken by cartel members, lit on fire, and then used as a roadblock.
He approached the car, pointed his gun at my head, and said in Spanish, yelling, "Get out of the car, get out of the car."
Vision I will never forget. They had all their guns, masks on their face, and it was such a brief and quick.
That woman also said she came face to face with the cartel members who stormed the resort where she was staying. President Trump is preparing to deliver his State of the Union address tonight, where he is expected to talk about immigration, economy, and tariffs. The NBC News team will have full live coverage of the address starting at 6 p.m. right here on NBC 7. And we will have another look at your weekday weather forecast right after this.
On January 22nd, I got a phone call from my daughter.
Rolling.
All right. She said, "Mom, the water's already waist high." And we were all scrambling.
There's been 2 wildfires that have come through. We were able to watch NBC 7, and we knew that as long as they were there, we were going to be okay.
We're going to be here. We're going to keep an eye on things.
Because of you guys, they acted.
This is the source of all of this neighborhood's problems.
Everything can be so unpredictable, and we rely on this coverage.
And that's a tornado warning. Hi there, I'm NBC 7 meteorologist Sheena Parveen. Mix of sun and clouds today. Mid-70s at the coast, around 80 inland, so kind of like yesterday, where our temperatures are going to be running still unseasonably warm for this time of the year. Mountains, breezy west wind developing near 70. Deserts will be in the upper 80s. Tomorrow and Thursday, kind of like today, and then by Friday, we're going to be a lot warmer. By the way, the coast could have some fog tomorrow morning and Thursday morning. Friday is going to be the warmest day. We could see some record highs. Then over the weekend, we gradually start to cool down into next week.
That is a beautiful forecast. Thank you, Sheena. A dash for freedom. A young Bobcat kitten is now back in the wild after months of intensive treatment at the Ramona Wildlife Center. Look at him there. A gardener found the kitten in some bushes in San Clemente back in October. She was in really bad shape, and during her recovery, the kitten stayed in an outdoor enclosure to mimic her natural environment. She also got treatments to help with an infection, as well as fluids and iron supplements. She finally gained enough strength to be released back into the wild. More coverage to count on at NBC7.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.